The City Football Group is an Anglo-Arabic holding company established to oversee the creation and administration of a network of linked clubs and other footballing operations under the aegis of Manchester City. The company is run as a holding company under parent company the Abu Dhabi United Group. Manchester City FC. The Abu Dhabi United Group was founded in the summer of 2008, as Sheikh Mansour bin Zayed Al Nahyan looked to take over Manchester City Football Club from the former Prime Minister of Thailand Thaksin Shinawatra. The Abu Dhabi United Group was set up in order to facilitate the purchase of the Premier League club. After its takeover, Manchester City launched into a complete overhaul of all departments, intent on rising to the top as fast as possible. On the pitch, the following season saw the team replaced under the management of Mark Hughes and then a second time under Roberto Mancini as the lobbying of established UEFA Champions League clubs in the Premier League forced the Manchester team to act quickly in order to achieve Champions League status before the newly implemented financial fair play regulations made it inviable for teams to spend outside of their earnings in an attempt to move up the table. Meanwhile, off the pitch City spent £10 million on revamping their Platt Lane Academy base as they formulated plans to produce a £100 million training and academy facility on land opposite their stadium, studying training facilities around the world in an attempt to create the world's foremost development in its field. This came in conjunction with the announcement in 2014 that they had received planning permission to increase their stadium capacity to over 62,000, making it the second largest club stadium in England. Further investment came in the field of fan engagement, where City committed themselves to a policy of winning the global popularity contest with the mass display of social media. Under Mansour's leadership, Manchester City Football Club have currently lifted the 2011 FA Cup, 2011 Euro 12 Premier League and 2013-14 Premier League, 2012 FA Community Shield and 2013 Euro 14 Football League Cup. New York City FC. When Ferran Soriano was appointed Manchester City CEO in August 2012, Don Garber reached out to him about a New York City team, having previously held discussions with him in his former capacity as vice president of Barcelona. In December 2012, unnamed sources told the media that Manchester City were close to being announced as the new owners of the 20th team of Major League Soccer, and the brand name New York City Football Club was trademarked, although the club quickly denied the report. However, Garber announced in March 2013 that he was almost ready to unveil the new expansion team. New York City Football Club, LLC was registered with the New York State Department on May 7, 2013. And on May 21 New York City FC was officially announced as the 20th Mills franchise. Linking the club to its English parent, the new MLS site hired as its first employee former Manchester City, MLS and U.S. national team player Claudio Reyna to serve as director of football, while a statement of intent was made with the signing of homegrown rising star manager and MLS Cup winner Jason Kreis to serve as the team's first head coach. Melbourne City FC. On January 23, 2014, it was announced that Manchester City acquired Melbourne Heart for $12 million. After several days of talks in Melbourne and Sydney, City's senior executives completed the deal which sees them own 80% of the Australian club, the other 20% to be held by a consortium of businessmen allied to Australian rugby league club Melbourne Storm. The takeover of the Australian A-League club came only days after an application to trademark the name Melbourne City Football Club was lodged on January 16. Coincidentally, Melbourne Heart's minority shareholders also registered the business name Melbourne City FC with the Australian Securities and Investments Commission and bought the domain name melbournecityfc.com or Yokohama F. Marinos. On May 20, 2014, it was announced that Manchester City had invested in a minority share of Yokohama F. Marinos, creating a partnership with both the football club and car manufacturer Nissan. Affiliated clubs, training scouting partners, Aarhus. In January 2013, Aarhus invited academy head and former Aarhus player Scott Sellers over to Denmark to tour their facilities, whereupon an agreement was signed between the two clubs. Aarhus impressed with their youth facilities and planned cooperation on young players. In exchange, City agreed to periodically send youth signings from the Right to Dream Academy on loan to Aarhus. Espanyol and CFG have an agreement that involves loaning out youth players from Man City to Espanyol, and Espanyol getting first notice on players who are surplus to requirements at City. Ghana FA, CFG have a partnership with the Ghanaian FA whereby each season their respective technical staff pool knowledge related to training players. Gil Vicente, an agreement was signed on May 9, 2012 for Gil Vicente to share their scouting network with Manchester City, granting CFG more specialised access to the Portuguese market, primarily for youth talent, while also allowing Gil Vicente to benefit from the group's more global reach. Limerick signed a scouting network partnership agreement with City mainly owing to their desire to access the pool of talent coming from the Right to Dream Academy, whom City have a long-term understanding with. Consequently, Limerick will bring in a couple of young African players from the academy every season. Sporting Lisbon, under the terms of their agreement, Sporting Lisbon signed with Manchester City a deal that they had previously had with Manchester United, to grant City first option on their players, specifically with a view to their youth talent. Overseas academies, Mpumalanga Black Aces, on June 4, 2013, Manchester City announced a 3-year agreement with Mpumalanga Black Aces of the South African Premier Soccer League to serve as their regional youth development partner. Under the agreement, the Black Aces will benefit from coaching links with and visits to and from Manchester City, while they will also serve as a regional centre of CFG's global youth development network and as a conduit for spreading Manchester City's name and style of football within their country. The agreement was signed a month before a Manchester City tour to South Africa. Right to Dream Academy, City Football Group have a partnership with the Right to Dream Academy which allows them to cherry-pick the best talent from the academy once players graduate. Stories have circulated that City bought the academy and own it outright, though if this is true it has never been publicised. Work permit clubs, City have a series of agreements with clubs to whom they can loan youth players from non-EU countries who otherwise would need to serve 5 years of residence in the UK to earn an EU passport granting them the ability to play in England without needing a work permit. Primarily the countries of Benelux and Scandinavia are viewed as the shortest way of achieving this. Jurgen Rdensif, BK Currency CKEN, KV Mechelen, NEC Nijmegen Stravenumskordset IF. In addition, New York City FC have utilized this link to give Jebrovski playing time until the start of the 2015 Major League Soccer season. See also, Manchester City FC ownership and finances, Abu Dhabi United Group, references.